Hey everybody, Dragon with East Blue once again, and I'm bringing to you yet another manga ending review. I think every time I finish one video, another manga ends. It's unbelievable. But unlike the Bakuman review, and yes, I am very well aware that I spelled Bakuman wrong the first time around, it just falls short. Now, before I move on, I should probably tell you what is the manga I'm actually reviewing, and that manga is Wolfgai Ookami no Monshou. Also, this manga right here is actually a remake of a much older manga. I'm not sure if it came out in the 70s or the early 90s. Because the original manga wasn't all that popular, I can't seem to get like certain information without going into Japanese sites, and since my Japanese is complete crap, I can't really understand what they're saying. So, unfortunately, I have to take a guess at some of the smaller forums. But anyway, this remake was made in 2007 and went by different names like Wolfgai Emblem of the Wolf and Wolfgai Wolf and Crest. The author of this remake is Yoshiaki Tabata, and the art is done by Yugo Yuki. And it's about 117 chapters, and it's a rather thrilling story. I must admit, it does get gruesome in many of the parts actually, but it's still overall a very good story. I'll give you a quick summary just so you can understand. The main character is a guy named Akira Unigami, and he's actually a werewolf. But you don't really know this until he tells you himself, because all you see him just get beaten up for no reason. There's something that the humans in the story seem to feel fear for him. They fear him. They don't know why, but they just do. And they don't know he's a werewolf though, but they still fear him and they attack him. And then you quickly also meet his homeroom teacher, and her name, I believe, is Ayoshika. And Ayoshika later on falls in love with him, and it becomes a very interesting romance story, but she's very curious. She sees him, she's going, well, he seems rather suspicious. And over time, she realizes and figures out that he's a werewolf, and she kind of has to harbor the secret while trying to help him get through it because he's attacked mercilessly. He is beaten, he is bloody, he's got like limbs cut off. It's just absolutely terrible, but he keeps coming back. And overall, the story is basically based on his suffering as well as him trying to fall in love and understanding humans and werewolves better. And it's overall a grisly, sad, but heartwarming story at the same time. However, even though it's rather gruesome, like Van Helsing, so a lot of guys, including myself, would really enjoy that, it does get into very dark waters. So what I'm talking about is when there's the rape of the homeroom teacher. It's absolutely gruesome. She's raped on live on the internet, and it's absolutely terrible. Like, you feel pain for her, you feel pain for Unigami, who is like just screaming in pain, seeing the woman he loves basically desecrated and humiliated over the net. People like immediately like sending messages on forums saying, "Look at this fucking whore, her life destroyed." It's just absolutely gruesome and terrible. And if you're weak in the knees, you really shouldn't read this manga. But it's rather, I think it adds a lot to the story and the realism that you don't really see all that often in some mangas. Like, you see it, but it's like off panel or dubbed down because you want to go that way because that's not what the genre of the manga is. It really adds a lot, and it's rather heavy, so don't read it if you're very lighthearted. But it still is a very incredible story. But let's move on to the actual ending. What ending did it actually receive? Because I've been following the story like a fucking, literally a wolf tracking down an elk. I've been really, really into this story, and I've been waiting for the new chapters to come out. And I actually panicked on chapter 116 because at this point, Unigami is pronounced dead. He was killed. We don't know where his body is. He's gone. The homeroom teacher is like just destroyed. She's like not eating, not drinking. She's like completely destroyed. But she tries rebuilding her life in Alaska, where Inugami lived for an amount of time with his parents when they were killed, actually. So we learn about that, and she's trying to relive her life. And you think, well, it's not the best kind of ending, but it's rather nice. Then I realized there was one more chapter coming out, and that would be chapter 117, where you see Inugami is alive. And I have to be honest, my heart jumped out of my chest. I'm like, oh, he's alive! And she sort of knows that, she sort of feels it in her heart that he's still alive. The wolves are howling, and you're thinking she's gonna go to him. He's trying to break free. He's trying to get back to her, and all he's saying in his mind is, I have to see her. I have to see her. Beautiful romance, and they end it. That's rather like, what? You feel rather punched in the gut and left to like grovel, because that is absolutely, you know, I'm not saying that's a bad ending. It's really great that we finally get to see Ookami alive and everything's okay, but we don't know if they get together. There's a pretty strong hunch that they're going to get together, but we don't know if he's going to make it out of that facility alive, because the people that have him in custody are people that they very well know that he is a werewolf. So there's no way he's going to make it out of there alive without being shot or kept in there like some guinea pig. So we have no idea what's going to happen, and I think it adds to that in a way, but to me, it's personally I feel rather disappointed. It doesn't feel like the ending really was a very good one in that sense. Like, to me, as I said before, I really like it when like there's romance at the end of the story. You know, people that have been kind of hiding their feelings get together, the romance is there, maybe marriage, something like that. But you know, it sucks that it just ends like this on a rather a cliffhanger. I would have been happy with maybe just like a page or two of like a time skip where they have kids or something. You know, something that really puts it on a very high note, because it's very gruesome. Ending on a high note would be nice. This is a higher note than his like on previous chapters, but it's not really where I would like to be. It's like we're on a plateau, but we're looking for that mountain peak, you know. But overall, it's a very good story, and I recommend you guys read it. If you guys have a weak stomach, be careful, because it gets into very dangerous waters with the gruesome, the sexuality, and so forth. So read it at your own risk. But overall, a very good story. So I have to say, guys, if you're really into this kind of stuff, read it. It's really, really cool. So go ahead. This is the Dragon of These Blues saying, sail on and keep running with the wolves.